All right, fashion dolls, and we are back with our second show for today, our main show. It is time for some girl talk. So, joining me today for some girl talk, we have the beautiful Brenda Shanell, and you guys know her as Ryan from Pandora's Box. She is here with me to get into some girl talk, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it with the beautiful Brenda Shanell. Let me add her. Do, do, do. Let me fix this hair. My hair was blowing everywhere. There we go. Hello. Hello.
How
Welcome. Welcome. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I
Well, I
am
just
wonderful. It is such a pleasure to have you here.
thank you. Thanks for having.
You are so welcome. We're about to get into some girl chat with the beautiful Brenda Shanell, and you guys know her as Ryan on Pandora's Box. Now, I interviewed your co-star who you shot with on the show as well too,
Oh,
DC Chambers. Yes,
really? Yeah.
yes, yes. I had DC, and this would have been back in 2022, and we had so much fun. And he turned the tables and he asked me some questions, and you'll be able to do it today with me as well too,
Okay.
where we
Great.
get to turn the tables and ask some questions.
Oh,
But tell us how you got your start into acting before we get into all things Pandora's Box and this girl talk.
okay. So I moved to Atlanta from Alabama in 2014. I really didn't know how to start. I really did not have a clue. So I started doing like extra work, and a lot of people feel like that is going to be like the first stepping stone, like you should go do extra work before, but really the foundation is classes, because that's going to educate you about what you should be doing. It's going to give you set etiquette, because you don't know what you're doing on a set, and a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm a natural. I mean, some people can naturally act, they have the ability to do so, but you don't have that education unless you go to class. So class taught me how to learn set etiquette. It taught me how to shoot self tapes, because that's kind of what we're moving towards. There are very little in-person auditions now. It taught me what a good headshot is supposed to look like. It taught me a lot of things, and so I just wanted to educate myself at first. So I went to some acting classes in Norcross. I did like every level of those, and I did like 3 different acting classes, and then I just started doing indie projects, and that really helped me a lot.
And look at you now. And you were on the hit show Pandora's Box. And what I love about this show is that it's so inclusive, LGBTQ
Yeah.
inclusiveness. But your character had a twist. And for the fourth season, I'll get into it because it gears into our girl talk today. It's been so much going on surrounding Black women, protecting the Black woman.
Hmm.
Your character was in an abusive relationship, Ryan,
Yeah.
which is Pandora's sister. What was it like playing this character, Ryan?
Okay, as you mentioned, you interviewed DC,
Yes.
who he played my boyfriend on the show, and he was the one who was abusive towards me. Um, I have never personally been in an abusive relationship. Well, at least not physically. You know, sometimes you can get abused mentally and emotionally and not even really
Yeah.
and not even really realize it. But I've never been in a physically abusive relationship, so I had to channel pain from other places, and pain from those who I know. several of my close friends have been through this. You know, I've been on the receiving ends of those phone calls of friends calling me saying he did this, he did that. I'm like, all right, girl, just come over here. You need to leave, you know, before it's too late, all of those things. It was very emotional. I don't want to give too much away. I mean, those who are fans have already seen it. And if you
Yeah.
have not seen it, then you'll get into it anyways. But like the rape scene was
It was
really,
hard for me to watch, girl. I couldn't. I said, this is DC. I just interviewed him and I watched because he posted a clip and it
yeah,
was the scene with him and Pandora. I can't give everything away like Brenda just said,
yeah,
but if you guys watch the show, you know there's one scene with him in particular. But what I loved about that scene, though, was the other gentleman that showed up. There was tension between them two at the party for Pandora's return party, but we need to see that in real life, and I'll get to that in a second.
yes.
But it was hard for me to fathom and watch that scene as well too, because I'm just like, this is Daryl, but I understand he's an actor. He's
He's a great
nothing like his character.
professional,
Right.
and he was amazing to work with.
So what was it difficult for you filming that scene? Because I'm pretty sure you've seen Angela Bassett and What's Love Got to Do with It. She said
Oh,
that filming that scene in the record booth was hard for her as well too.
oh yes, it was very hard. It was hard because it's emotional thinking about the fact that women are actually going through this
Yeah.
and portraying it, but you also want to do the character justice because you want those women to be seen. You want them to have a voice, even though it's through creativity. And you want to be able to portray that in a light that will show them, hey, we see you, we understand that these are issues that you're going through. And then Pandora Slim, who is the creator of Pandora's Box, thank you, Slim, for all the great opportunities for having me on since season 2 and continuously bringing me back. But she does a great job of highlighting so many different issues. And so I'm really excited each season to see what issues we tackle. And that was one of them. And it was rewarding to be able to play that. So I'm happy I got to do it. It was emotional doing it, but I'm glad that I was able to be a part of somebody who helped to get that message out there.
And,
Because the
and
thing is that a lot of women don't understand that you can be in an abusive relationship. Like a man can rape you even though he's your boyfriend, even though he's your significant other. He can still rape you if you say, hey, I don't want to right now. We're going here, we're doing this, I'm good. And he forces himself on you anyway. It's still rape. It doesn't matter that you're in a relationship with them. It's still very much rape.
and no means no. We're now in the day and age of the Me Too movement, and we're seeing women speaking up and saying, hey, we're not going to tolerate this, even in the workplace, in the entertainment business, because we're both in the business. Women are standing up and saying that we're not going to tolerate this, and not just in general women, but men are also have been putting up with it as well too.
Absolutely.
But the scary part about it, Brenda, is that Black and African American women experience violence at a 2.5 times more than white women. So that's scary. Eight
Absolutely.
out of 10 women have experienced domestic violence, and the stats go up and up and up.
Girl, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but there are so many things that contribute to that. But yes, absolutely. I'm not surprised at all by those statistics. I I'm surprised that it's not higher. Because it goes back to so many things. It's the reason why they don't take us seriously during childbirth. They think that Black women can handle so many things, and it's because we have for so long, but we're tired. I mean, it dates back to slavery. If a white woman was getting raped, you were hung by your toenails and burned at the stake like a witch. But for us, that was just your property and I can do with you whatever I wish. And then I think that idea has just kept going on and on and on. And Black women aren't protected as much as I would like us to be.
At all. Or LGBT people. There's a picture that 25 BWB posted, and I'm pretty sure you've seen the pictures, an animation of a hand, and it's a woman, she's swimming underwater, and they just like, oh, good job, girl. Like they expect black women, they expect us to be strong
Hmm.
all the time. And I'm pretty sure you've seen the video to Roger P. Henson speaking on the strong black woman
Hmm.
narrative and how dangerous it is
It is
because they think, oh, we've been built for this. Y'all are built for it. Y'all can go
that.
for it. Y'all can handle it. There are days when I want to be emotional and I want to break. There are days when I want to be held. I don't want to be seen as you're a superwoman all the time. And they think because we're black women, we're invincible.
Yeah, I don't want to be strong today. I don't want to be strong this week, you know? And when I have those moments, I really wish, and then sometimes it's hard also to even ask for help. And people just automatically think you got it. You know,
They
she's been
gaslight you.
they got it. They don't need it. They don't need anything. But then you decide that you're tired and then there's nobody there because they think that you have it. So it's really, really, really a struggle.
And they gaslight you. And I love what you just said also as well too, is that black women, we aren't protected as much. We aren't. And you guys know where I'm going with this, fellas. If you get in your bag, you get in your bag because y'all have been showing out. Um, the Meg Thee Stallion verdict, the toy, yes. What
Yes.
I will say this. What is it gonna take? Because even Monique, and I'm pretty sure you guys seen Monique's interview she did with T.S. Madison. She
Hmm.
said it's sad that when a black woman passes on or something traumatizing happens to a black woman, that people for them to believe her story.
Right.
Even when she speaks up the first time and she says, something happened to me. This
Yeah,
is what you did to Meg Thee Stallion. You gaslit her.
really die for you to believe that what she's saying is true. And it's very disheartening because so many deaths of women in abusive relationships, of trans women, LGBT personnel, like there are so many deaths that have happened that could have been avoided if somebody just listened, if somebody had just said, okay, I hear you, let's do something about it, and I stand with you, and together we can make a difference.
And it's just like the what you guys seen the video, Alabama Brawl. I'm glad that it took for this, but we need more of this within our community as a collective. I'm glad that everybody that is black showed up and showed out when that happened to that man on that boat,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that that man could have lost his life. We
Yeah.
need more of that for black women. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, if we show up for black women and black LGBT people like this, we will
Mm-hmm.
be so much better.
Yeah.
But it's just like whenever a black woman speaks, for years you guys have trolled this woman when she said that he did this to me. She came on live and she said he did this to me. She didn't have to, but she
Right.
lied. She kept quiet to protect him. And
Right.
you guys still go out here. You were gaslighting her. You were heckling her. When she went to the hearing with him, he went and he did a whole diss album. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay,
he
what is
did.
it going to
That
take for
was so
you?
tasteful. That was so trash. That was so just, why would you do a diss album? Like, guy, come on now. That's really crazy. And to be honest with you, I really wish that black people stood together. If we realize that we just need each other, if we realize that it does not matter what the gender or sexual orientation or identity is, and we just band together as black people, period. What happened in Montgomery
Come on.
is a taste of what can happen throughout the community, because we just need to stick together. And if we can do that, we will be better as a people. I always talk about the fact that people are, women against men and this and that. And then,
Yeah.
some this and this person, and people are thinking, oh, well, women are just bashing men and men are just bashing women. If we realize that all of that is very deep rooted, and that's what people want from us as a community, and we stood up and said no more, we will be so much power. We're already the most influential race in
Hello.
the world, already the most influential. But if we could just stick together, oh my God, we will be so much more powerful.
And I want to say this to some of the black men that are watching, not all, not the good ones, because we know that you guys show up and show out for us, and we thank you. It's one scene in particular on Pandora's box that I mentioned in the beginning. I'm not going to give it away, but that scene right there is what I would like to see more of. And that is black men standing up for black women. So it's protect black women all day, every day over here. I
Mhm.
see everything that goes on, and I say little things here and there, but it's sad that a black woman has to lose her life for people to believe her.
Mhm.
And some people, and it's other black women that were gaslighting Meg as well too. And I'm just like, what if you were in this position? You have a daughter, you have a sister,
Right.
you have any woman in your family that could have experienced what she's experienced,
Mhm.
and she kept quiet to protect this man.
Mhm.
We
Because
all
that
know that.
do that's just how we are. How I'm not gonna say, but that's just how we are. Um, that's just what black women do. We have always tried to be the savior because we feel like, okay, black women are the protectors because we're gonna stand up for whatever is right. And so we're always coming to the defense of men, and we just want the same in return. Whenever black men are killed or,
Oh
gunned,
yeah,
or
right at the front line, girl. I'm telling you.
of police brutality, we're the first ones to stand up. Like, we're the first ones to jump to the defense. We're the first ones to say, hey, stop killing us. And that black men deserve to grow old, and black men deserve to live and fight another day. But we don't get the same in return. And I have a group of black male friends, shout out to y'all. And I see a lot on my timeline, a lot of more mature black men who get it. They just get it. And they're always vocal about the oppression,
Yeah,
and they're always vocal about just all of the issues across the board, because at the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care if if you are bi, if you're trans, if you're straight, if you're woman, if you're male, if you're non-binary, whoever you are, right is right and wrong is wrong. And when I see these black men standing up for that, it makes my heart smile, because there are some black men that
come
I
on.
know who are amazing at doing that. And when I say it gives me goosebumps and it makes my heart smile, I am forever grateful for those guys.
Look at Johnny in the comments. Johnny with his strong arm and 100. That's true.
Johnny,
Yes, there are
those
some
guys.
black men out here. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I said, Johnny, are you one of those guys?
Yes, we need more of that within the black community. Is black men standing up and saying, okay, we're going to stand up as well too for our black women, because they would go, black women, we would go to the front of the line at the end of the world and back for you, and we just want the same in return. That's all we're asking for. So to the ones out here that made fun of Meg and any other woman who's experienced anything, another thing is black women going missing. You guys remember the late Gwen Eiffel? She came up with the phrase called white woman, missing white woman syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's whenever someone who is non-black goes missing, the FBI and everybody gets involved. But when it's a black woman, the cases are never really heard of. They talk about it once on the news, but they never really cover it.
They don't. And to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you the truth. And it may be what I think it is that a lot of these women are being trafficked. Some of them meet their demise because of some kind of jilted lover or something like that. But a lot of these women are being trafficked, and a lot of the people who are involved in operating these trafficking rings are politicians, police officers, and such. And so they just keep it quiet, and they decide that they're not going to look for them because they know where they are. They know where they are. I feel like the reason why Carly Russell got so much attention is because they didn't know nothing about where she was. Of course, we know that it came out that she did lie, but I don't like to hear people say, this is why they don't believe us. This is why I don't care. What it,
Right.
I don't care if it is a hoax. I don't care. I don't give a damn what it is. If a black woman goes missing, you should put all the resources into finding her. Put the same resources into finding black women as you put into finding that imploded submersible where them people paid $1 million to go down there on their own free will.
Exactly. And you guys have heard the story of Tamika Hunter, who was a black woman that went missing. And what's her name? Eric Alexander did a whole documentary on it, Finding Tamika. The black woman is yet to be discovered. And it's so many other black women that are missing out here that they do not cover. They don't cover. They just don't cover it. Or black people in general, whenever we go missing, they don't really talk about it on the news outlet. They just show it up there. They'll show the person's picture or whatever. But if it's someone, let that be someone who is non-black. They'll get more news coverage. And then we see the next few weeks that they've been recovered and they're with their family. Do the same for us.
Yeah.
It's like when it comes to black lives, our lives do not matter in this country.
They don't. We've all seen that. And I think that most black people know that. It's really horrible. Because who are you as a country to put a price on our lives? Why aren't our lives more valuable?
Right. And what's the shocking part, Brenda, is that you said something that was very powerful too. Some of these politicians are caught up in these sex trafficking rings. And you would not believe it. You would not believe it. Everything that glitters ain't gold. I mean, look at the world's most powerful man right now just got indicted. You guys didn't think I was going to talk about it. But yes, he got indicted again.
On several counts of racketeering and all of these things. But the thing is that they have the money, the influence, the power. So they have the resources to do those things. It's not your average Joe Blow on the corner at the store down the street that's running. How do you think these women are being abducted and hidden for years and years to come? I mean, that takes money, power, influence. It takes that. There's no way that you could run an operation like that where you can hide somebody for so many years, but she's working every day, you know, as a sex worker or whatever it is that she's doing. How do you think she's unable to be found but still in plain sight working or doing whatever it is? It's because people know that this exists, and the customers that are going there, they know it exists, and they're probably a politician or a police officer or whatever too. They know it exists. And the only way that any of that could be kept going is because they have money, power, and influence. It's not the average this person or that person, but people are trying to put away black men for selling a dime bag of weed, or, you know, somebody for doing this or doing, you know, all of these things. But you're not getting these people and indicting these people who have the biggest influence and have the means to have the biggest racketeering operations that there are. You're not doing that, and it's because they're in cahoots. They're colluding.
Look at R. Kelly. All of these years, people didn't believe. Now do you believe these women? Now do you believe black women? Now, the numbers of the persons prosecuted for human trafficking increased from 729 in 2011 to now 1,343 in 2020. And this is sex trafficking stats. And 84% increase. The number of persons convicted of a federal human trafficking offense increased from 2011, 464 persons. So the numbers are going up of women that are being sex trafficked in this country.
And to be honest with you, people can say whatever they want. I feel like what R. Kelly was doing is trafficking, because you are allowing these men or whoever to come in here, and you tell these women that they have to have sex with them. They may have been getting paid in your affection or a promise for a record deal or whatever luxury items that you were buying them, but they were doing it. And then people are saying stupid things like, they were old enough to understand. No, they were not. And even if they were grown women,
Young
let's
girl.
let's
Right.
like, men cannot manipulate a woman. It does not make it right. I don't care if she is older. When you prey on someone who does not have the mental toughness as the next person, it's still very wrong. And you just may as well be plucking a little girl from a schoolyard, because it's the same thing to me. If you're doing it and you prey on somebody that's weak, somebody that's in a vulnerable position, somebody who needs something, you know that this person does not have a lot of money. This person wants to be a musician so bad. You have something and you're using it as leverage in order to pull them into your operation. That's still just as wrong. And I don't care if they were 16 or 17, or you think that they knew better because they were older teenagers. It's not. Scientific proof says that the frontal lobe is not developed enough to make good decisions. And so he was taking advantage of these women. He was taking advantage of these girls, and he is right where he belongs.
And rightfully so. And what gets me is that you still have black women that support him the, the
It's
same as they would any other person, like a Tory Lanez, like a Chris Brown, who's an abuser. I'm just like, what would make you, and the essence of you being a woman, support these type of men?
it's
I couldn't do it.
it's disgusting. And I've had arguments with people that are very close to me. I'm like, all right, look, we'll just agree to disagree because I don't want to fall out with you.
Right.
But it's very disgusting because how can you? How can you?
These were these were young girls. And to the parents out here watching, the fathers specifically, stand up and protect your daughters. You can protect your sons, yes, but your daughters are precious to you too, and you need to go and protect them. Black women in general, we just said it in the beginning of the show, we need protection.
Mm-hmm,
LGBT people need protection.
mm-hmm.
Where we live in a patriarchal society where everything is so male dominated. One of the world's most powerful men has now been indicted, and it goes back to what Brenda just said. When you got a whole lot of money and you about the color of my background and you got a whole lot of power, you can get away. Like he said, he can take somebody like the five black men in Central Park Five. He said he can unalive these men on what was it, Fifth Avenue, and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took out a 5-page spread on these five black men who have been accused of attacking a white woman, which
Which
was not true.
which made an open season on those men, calling for the the assaults or mistreatment of these men because he was Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was going to listen because he had money, power, and influence. And we even know, if we think about way before Donald Trump became president, and we think about back in the day how so many celebrities, black celebrities, used to love him because he was just this powerful person with all this money. We saw him on TV shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Home Alone, the movie, just so many. He guest starred on so many shows, and black people were like, "Oh, he has all this money and this and that and the third." I think Girlfriends is my comfort show, so I watch it often. And I remember Maya saying something about Donald Trump. I can't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, they've always used him as this cultural entity
Yeah.
because everyone has known him to just have all this money, but you didn't know that deep down inside he was, I can't say what I want to say because I mean he's not president right now and I still am very much in the military. So he was still very racist, very biased, and really only cared about himself and his money. And he
Narcissism.
cares about people who can get him more money, people who have the same amount of money that he does. He does not care. And people were so ready to kiss his butt over $1,400 stimulus check. Is that all you're worth? You gonna sell your soul for $1,400? That's sad.
And what made me even more disgusted is that you had black celebrities when this man announced that his presidency was going to happen, supporting him, backing him, and sending him money. The conservatives out here, the black conservatives also as well too, spewing the same racist rhetoric that he has spewed.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's calling for attacks on the assistant DA in Fulton
Mm-hmm.
County, Fonnie Willis,
Mm-hmm.
and what's his name, Alvin Mr. Bragg in
Yeah.
New York, Manhattan, New York, and the
Mhm.
other Attorney General, Letitia James, who said she was going to take out charges on him.
Ex-
Notice the pattern here. If this
it-
isn't a wake up call, I don't know what else is.
it-
And plus, his niece, and as bad as she is, not his niece, but she kind of gave us a warning in her own way. Right message, wrong messenger. It was
mhm.
Omarosa.
Right.
What's her name from RuPaul's Drag Race asked her, what is going to come if he becomes president? It was Ross Matthews. That's his name. And he asked her, and she said, it's not going to be good. So it was Omarosa giving you the warning before the storm was going to come of
But
this man's presidency.
also she still decided to be a part of his cabinet.
And that's the sad part.
And that's very sad. And then um Fannie Willis, the one who is the DA in Fulton County,
Yeah,
this man dragged this black woman because she was indicting him and started to defame her and saying that she was sleeping with drug dealers and gang members and
lies.
things like that. Credit her and make her look awful because she had the courage to do what a lot of people wouldn't have done because you're so powerful.
And
And
he
when she,
is very dangerous. He's very dangerous.
yes,
So to any person or persons of color out here, if you encounter any of his supporters, go in the next direction. We don't need, yeah, it's folding chair season, but it's way more them. Well,
yeah,
we're
it
stronger
is.
together in numbers. Stick together.
And
That's all I'm gonna say.
definitely gun toting, been shooting since they were 5 years old, um, and have an arsenal of weapons. And and when they decide that it's open season on black people, then that's what it is. You saw what happened on January 6th with the Capitol. All this man had to do is just like the black man in Montgomery when he threw his hat in the air. All Donald Trump had to do was say, come with me and do this and do that, and we're going to fight back because they robbed me of this election.
Oh yeah, they said they stole the election was stolen, and oh, we
And
need to go. It's something wrong with it. I mean, all of that craziness he was
goes to
spewing.
the Capitol, and all of his little henchmen in his mob, all his little thugs, ran up to that Capitol. And they should all have felony time right now.
The it a lot of people of color asked this question on Twitter, and that was if these people were if this was us, we already know how that would turn out.
I was,
But we did it because we don't support it.
I was going to
And,
say that.
and another thing he does is these dog whistles. It's like they say, a hit dog will holler. He does these dog whistles to amp up his base. Trump is a cult leader. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about Hitler,
Oh, yeah.
Mussolini, all of these notorious cult leaders.
Yes.
Nature Boy is another one. Um,
Yes. Oh, yes.
these are cult leaders.
They are.
That's a cult.
They
And
are.
this haven't happened since what, 1876 when they burned the place.
Yes. Yes. And people don't realize it when you're following these people and you're so on board. I really don't care if the rhetoric is right or wrong. There
Right.
should not any human person that you worship and you're willing to go die for and kill for and fight people. That is crazy. That is a cult. You're in a cult. That is ridiculous. Why are you doing that for a human person? That's ridiculous. And especially if they're doing nothing but emotionally and mentally abusing you.
Oh, because remember, he left them stranded out there. You had one of his rallies, and he left them stranded out there in the cold. That man does not care about you.
He does not care. He does not care. He's gaslighting you. And it's just like someone with Stockholm syndrome in an abusive relationship with a significant other. They're
Yeah.
using you and you don't even realize it. But because they keep giving you these tidbits, you're thinking, oh, he loves me. No, he doesn't.
Oh,
No, it does not.
that's not love. And I am so glad that he is being held accountable. But we're going to keep an eye on that. Make sure you guys are staying alert to what's going on if you guys are in the Georgia area. Just be alert and make sure for us as people of color, we got to stay ready so that we don't have to get ready. Be alert because these Trump supporters, these Karens out here, they're going to try anything with you. And I don't really condone violence, but defend yourself. And that's all I got to say. Defend yourself. Black people are not playing. And I said this the last time with my co-host Manny. We're not playing.
Defend yourself. These people are armed. You need to be too. And that's just how I feel about it. I mean, I've been in the military for 19 years. I believe in having protection. I understand, me personally, I understand gun safety, but a lot of you should take some gun safety classes so that you know how to handle it, so that you don't find yourself in an unfortunate accidental situation or things like that. But you need to learn how to handle it because these people are teaching their children since the day they're born how to operate weapons and how to be able to shoot you down in the streets. Like that's what they're doing to us. But we don't have any way to protect ourselves, and you need to be able to protect yourself. If you're in Georgia, Georgia is an open carry state. Um, so you don't even have to have um, you don't have to have a concealed carry license, but don't go buy any weapons on the streets because this is we. I live in Atlanta. This is a very, you know, Atlanta can be tough now. You don't want to buy something that got a bunch of bodies on it, and the next thing
Oh,
you know,
yeah. They trying to
federal
claim
and
you for it.
do it the right way. Go get your weapon registered. You will have to pass a background check, um, things like that. But do it the right way and arm yourselves. Don't be stupid, but protect yourself.
Especially to our Black women and LGBT people out here in general, please make sure that you guys are being safe out here.
Yes.
Because this is just the calm before the storm. I'm pretty sure he's going to have some more shenanigans up his sleeve. I'm glad that he's been indicted. I seen the news as soon as I was getting ready today. You know, first thing woke up and I seen it, and he was indicted.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we're just going to keep covering and keep posting on this because he's been tweeting, he's been on Truth Social, he's been on Twitter, and when he gets his finger and access to that, whenever he tweets out there, it's like a dog whistle to his base,
Yeah.
and his base goes crazy. And we know the end result that could happen, like Brenda mentioned a few minutes ago, January 6th. That's unprecedented.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And any presidential, even with Bush, it's never happened. It only happened when he was supposed to turn over.
Mm-hmm. Now he has until I think the 25th to turn himself in. He has until the 25th, and of course he's gonna take all of that time. He's not gonna
He's
prematurely
going
turn
to drag it out
because
for sure.
I don't see how he could be able to get bail. I mean, he could, who knows? But if there are RICO charges, I just don't see how he can get bail. But if he does, of course, we know he's going to make it because there's no amount of money in the world that's going to keep Donald Trump in jail if he wants to get out. Hey, Janetta. Um, but yeah, the 25th is when he's supposed to turn himself in. So I would say to everybody to watch around that day, because I don't know if it's going to be before then or it could be after he's turned himself in. Whenever that mug shot is released, people are going to go crazy. His supporters are going to go crazy. So just be watchful, be mindful, and be careful. And as a matter of fact, just don't even go anywhere by yourself because who knows what these people are up to.
or capable of, because they stick together. They are crazy.
Oh,
It's
we
like they
know
live in a alternate universe.
what they're capable of. They're capable of a lot. We just don't know what they got cooking. We don't know what they have up their sleeves. We don't know what the plan. We have no idea. We don't know if someone might choose to attack the precinct, or if they're going to choose to attack, I don't know, a random mall. Who knows? We don't know. And you don't know where you're going to be when it happens. And you want to be able to protect yourself and to be careful, be safe. Now, Atlanta is a very black city. However, it's also very diverse. So sometimes you never know. You never know who's on your side and who's not. Who's on his side and who's not. Who's mad about something and who's not. So,
And to the Republicans, I let this be your wake up call. You guys were chanting and rooting for this man, and now you're starting to see it's no fun when the rabbits literally got the, you know,
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's no fun. His niece warned you about how dangerous he was. She even wrote a book. That's why he disowned her, because she wrote it all in that book. And when she did an interview, she said, Lord knows he could probably get his base out here and he could do damage,
Wow.
literally. And we seen that damage January 6th. Like, I've never seen anything like it before. And I'm picturing it in my head of them getting in the office with classified information. Nancy was the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office. One
Mm-hmm.
guy literally sat in this woman's office with personal, private information was. That just goes to show you that they don't care.
They don't. They do not care. And I don't know what it's gonna take, to be honest with you. Um, I really even hate to say, well, there is there is an issue between Republicans and Democrats, and by me being a federal an employee of the federal government all of my life, I should by nature be Republican, but I am not. And the thing is this: you always want to go with the good of the good of the
Right.
people around you, people from your communities, the good of the people that you grew up with, the good of the people in your families. And some of these people become Republican not because they really stand on for what they don't stand for what these politicians believe in. They're protecting their money. And what you have to start doing, if you're one of those, is just do like Beyonce does. Give that money to some charities, baby, so they can't come after you for everything that you have. But you need to be, and even if you lose a little bit of money, it's not worth selling your soul for. It's not
At all.
selling your soul, because you have to understand that these people are trying to tear down these communities, and they only care about the people who are making $600,000 or more a year. And most of us don't know people that are making $600,000 a year, not the regular average people. And they still deserve to be protected. And so these people, a lot of the Republicans, they don't care. They will go with whatever BS that's going on because they don't want to be taxed too hard. That's really your only reason?
The
You sold your soul for?
rich, they want to stay rich. They don't want to pay taxes, which is another thing, which is why he moved his stuff around so that people wouldn't be able to find out his tax returns.
Oh yeah, they thought about those tax returns for a long time.
He wasn't releasing that information, but Letitia James, she got that information.
She
She
got
was
it.
able to get it. She said, "Let me see what you got."
She got it. She got it.
Letitia was not playing. You got out here in these press briefings and you said all these things. If it wasn't one black woman that he was attacking, which was Letitia, he was attacking Maxine Waters. If not Maxine, he said low IQ. He said all of these things. And now you're going after another black woman, Fonnie Willis, who's now in Fulton, and now she showed you what she was really made of, capable
Because
of.
is that she's about what's right and what's wrong. She's just not trying to attack you. This lady has one of the most admired rap artists in jail right now. She don't care. She cares about what's right and what's wrong. Is for her, it's not because you're Donald Trump. She's trying to indict whoever is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So you can't use that against her. You can't say, oh, she's racist, or she's against me because I'm Republican, or because I'm this white ex-president, or whatever. It doesn't matter. She's shown that she's not biased, because a crime is a crime and a RICO is a RICO.
And all of it has come to the light. So now you guys can see. You just have to stay alert and aware of your surroundings and where you're going, especially if you're in the Atlanta area. And more so, I mean, all over New York, especially in the southern states as well, too. Because when that happened January 6th, that happened on the Capitol. There's no telling where you're at. There's a Trump supporter there. And you're going to run into them. They're crazy.
And because he's being indicted here, there may be some issues in Atlanta. I hope not, but there may be.
Listen, y'all, please make sure that you guys are being safe out here, especially to my Black people, our people out here. Make sure that you can safe. And like Brenda said, if you go somewhere, go together. Do not go alone. This is not the time to be alone, because just as crazy as he is, his supporters are just as crazy as well too, and dangerous. Cult members, when they become brainwashed, I can give you an example. I can date all the way back to what's his name that unalived Sharon Tate. I cannot remember his name. It's not Ted Bundy. He had a cult too, a cult-like following too, and it was very, very dangerous.
Was it Jesus Christ? I'm gonna think of it in a minute. David? No. What was his name? Hold on. I'm gonna tell you.
He had a cult-like following, and he went and he took the life of Sharon Tate and her husband as well too. He was a famous movie producer, and he had a cult. And whenever they went to the courtroom, he would just give them that look, and it was a very scary look. Not Caress, not Jim Jones. I cannot remember his name, but I know
Manson.
Charles Manson. That's it. Yes. We know how cults think. Even with R. Kelly's fan base, we seen the cult like base.
Because where's that other girl? Jocelyn. What's her name?
Jocelyn Savage. We haven't heard anything about her.
We don't know where she is. If that girl is brainwashed,
alive or whatever, the family, I'm pretty sure, is worried.
She is. They have been vocal about it all this time. They have been trying to find their daughter, and she's brainwashed because the other girl,
Azriel Clary.
Azriel Clary. She decided that she didn't want to drink the Kool-Aid anymore. And she decided that, okay, let me come to my senses and let me go back to my family. And then she spoke out. And she said that they were coached on that Gayle King interview. And she talked about how he made them lie. She talked about how he was so happy when they came back, saying they did such a great job, because Azriel was very, very aggressive. She was very aggressive in that interview. She wanted to make sure that everybody believed everything she was saying. She wanted to make sure that everybody believed that this man did not do anything to them. She wanted to make sure that everybody believed that, you know, they could move of their own free will. And she even bashed her own parents, saying, oh, they did this for money. All of these things because this man brainwashed her. And that's why I say, if you think that a man cannot brainwash or manipulate a woman into doing things that she really wouldn't otherwise do, then you're crazy, because they very well can. And R. Kelly is a perfect example of that.
Charles Manson also too. And I've noticed if you go back and you watch the interview that Jocelyn did with TMZ, where she was speaking with her family on the phone, you see a shadow of someone sort of saying,
Oh yes, I saw that. Hmm.
"It's yeah, it's a cult for sure."
Charles,
All the cult leader has to do is give you that certain look, and they know when to say whatever they need to say or whatever they need to say or whisper in your ear, do all of these little things to manipulate you.
there's a documentary on Netflix right now. I didn't delve into it, but it's called something like How to Be a Cult Leader or something like that. And I think I saw Charles Manson's face for sure on there. But there were so many other cult leaders on there, and people don't understand and they don't realize that they are a part of a cult. They think this is just a community, and
No,
they care about people outside, or they don't know what they're doing, and all of these things. They think that this life is so pure, but you're having these men sleep with your 13-year-old daughter to have babies. That I don't. There has to be some sort of, there's a mental disconnect there. But people are, like I said, very easily manipulated. But that is crazy and very sad.
and to anybody out here, cult leaders, another thing that they will try to do is distance you away from your family. If you're in any sort of abusive relationship, they will say something and they will try to distance you away from your family. Anything they say is the end all be all, and you just go along with it, like, oh, my family did this to me, or my friend did this to me, and you haven't heard from your family or friends in years, and months go by, weeks go by, and they're starting to worry.
Hmm.
That
And
changes.
they do that because they know that they have your mind. In that sense, they know that they have your mind. They don't want you to talk to someone who's going to quote unquote talk some sense into you. They don't want somebody to hold the mirror up, pull the veil from over your eyes. They don't want someone to that's going to tell you, girl, this is not love. This is not a situation that you should be in. This person does not love you. This person is manipulating you. This person is a narcissist. This person is gaslighting you. This person is taking advantage of you. This person is abusing you. They don't want you to hear that from your family members and your friends because they know that everybody's not going to go for that. They just caught you in a vulnerable state and they chose to take advantage of you. But they know that if you are surrounded by the love that you have in your family and your friends, those people are going to help you realize that what he's doing is not right. What he's doing is not love. This person does not care about you. That's why they isolate you from your family and your friends. It's not because, oh, they just don't want you to be around them, or they think that they're bad. They're not. They're going to manipulate you into thinking that your own family is bad because your own family really, really, really cares about you in most cases.
And that's to anybody out here who is in a abusive relationship and control relationship. They try to control your mind. They mentally screw you.
Because once they have your mind, they have everything else.
Anything they say is the end all be all. And we see that with so many cult leaders, even when it comes to some religious cult leaders like Jim Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody mentioned Koresh. Another one is Yahweh ben Yahweh. And
Mm-hmm.
how these people mentally became distant away from their family and their loved ones. And months went by, weeks went by, and they haven't heard anything from their significant others because they're so wrapped up into this cult. And it
Mm-hmm.
happened. So to
Yeah.
you guys out here, anybody who's in a situation like that, where you feel like you're being, there's so many different forms of abuse. There's mental, there's physical, and then there's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And to anybody out here, I would say call and get help. Talk to someone. There's resources out here and outlets out here that can help you and that will be willing to help you and listen to you as well too within our community, especially when it comes to mental health. We don't talk about it enough because it does something to you mentally. You feel like something is wrong with you. You feel like
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong with you or something you did is wrong. No, it's because that person has gaslit you, like Brenda just said.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl talk was kind of heavy, but it needed to happen. It's based off of Brenda's character on Pandora's Box,
Yeah.
Ryan, and I'm pretty sure a lot of women that were watching it, because I've had the same thing happen to me. I've had girlfriends who've been in abusive relationships and people who know people who were also in abusive relationships. So we needed to talk about this with the conversation surrounding protecting the Black woman. This needed to be had. And two Black women, we had that conversation today. So I'm thankful to talk about it. When I met Brenda and I reached out to her, she said, "What we gonna be talking about in this girl talk?" So I said, "We're gonna make it fun. It's gonna be like the wind down with Mary J. Blige, where we have, girl talk, just chat, girlfriends." And I'm pretty sure a lot of women that are watching this conversation and watching Pandora's Box or any other platform are taking in the information that we are giving out so that it doesn't happen to you or any other woman or man who is close to you. Because domestic violence not only happens to women, it happens to men too. And the cases are very likely heard, but it does happen. Believe me.
You know what's so crazy is I was pregnant the whole time we were filming that last season too. I was
Wow.
yeah, I was pregnant. My son is 10 months old now. But I was pregnant the whole time, so of course there were other emotions flying all over the place. But we're actually about to start shooting the next season within the next few months. So
All right. Stay tuned.
yes, Slim reached out for our availability. So make sure you follow Pandora's Box TV. Follow me if you're not following me. Pandora's Box TV is going to have all the updates for Pandora's Box. Pandora's Box is probably one of the best series. Thank you, Janetta. Pandora's Box is probably one of the best series that I've been on because I have people approach me or tag me and stuff on social media about, something that they've seen me in, but people come up to me in the mall and in the grocery store about Pandora's Box all the time.
Wait a minute. What did people see the fourth season? What were people's thoughts about your character and what she endured on the fourth season?
Well, a lot of people DM me about the fact that Ryan is bipolar. Her character is bipolar. So a lot of people DM me about that and about thanking me about portraying that in a light that makes them feel seen and heard. A lot of people talked about the abuse and things like that, but a lot of because this was the first season that Ryan had ever had a, another different issue. Ryan has been through some ups and downs. Ryan has done some things, and there are, I don't, even though it's past seasons, so I'll go ahead and say it because, it's past seasons. Hopefully you go watch if you haven't watched, or if you are a fan already, then you already know this. A couple of seasons back, Ryan actually killed her baby because she was going through some things mentally. She had a lot of mental health issues and she was bipolar and she thought the baby was something, an invader or somebody. Um, so that was one of the biggest things that she has had throughout her tenure on the series. And then this last season, she dealt with physical and domestic abuse. Um, and of course, aside from her being bipolar and being on and off her meds and the shenanigans that she gets into when she decides that she doesn't want to take her meds anymore, um, there are really a lot of issues there. And like I said, Slim does a good job of highlighting different issues. So it's great to actually portray it and actually bring to light all of these different issues. And I love Pandora's Box. I love all of my castmates. They are amazing. They are funny. They are sweet. They are crazy. They are wild. They are everything.
And
Um,
I've seen the bloopers. There was some humor in this show, even though it's serious, and she covers heavy topics on Pandora's Box. The humorous part, though, even when it happened with Ryan was going through with her boyfriend, she said, "Take out your phone and go live." And everybody was going live. They try to make it seem like everything is normal. After what happened, I can't give it away, but you guys have to go back and watch it. So there is some humor in there.
yeah, there is. I love Pandora's Box. And when we thought that she had ended it, everybody was so sad, and
I
everybody
was.
called for it to come back. And she's like, "All right, all right, all right, I'll come back." And then so she summoned us, and we came back, and it's amazing. It's a great cast, and Slim is an amazing director and writer to work with. I've worked on a lot of indie projects, and she's one of the most professional ones. Her set is one of the most, but she don't play. She's like, "There's no drinking on my set. There's no being late. There's no this," because a lot of people will waste your time when you do indie projects. When you're trying to start out acting and you decide to go do indie projects, a lot of them will waste your time, but she does not. She's very fast and efficient, and she means business when she means business. So she is the reason why I've been on Pandora's Box since season 2. Um, I just I love the series. I love, and what's so crazy is the cast. We don't know what's gonna happen on the show if it's not your scene. You can kind of get an idea about certain things, but if it's not your scene, you don't know what's happening in the other scenes because everything is a closed set. So we're watching like, "Oh my God," because we don't know what's going to happen with other people in their scenes. It's like, "Oh my God," because she didn't tell us. She's only given us our sides. We only know what's happening in our scenes. So when we watch the show, it's like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened," because she doesn't tell us everything, because she wants everything to be, a surprise. And Pandora's Box is her baby. And she has done some other things too, like My Person, the reality show, um,
Yeah.
some things like that. But Pandora's Box is like literally her baby, so she protects it with everything in her, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
And what I love about this cast is that it is so diverse. I fell in love with the show as soon as I started watching it. From the beginning, I had to go back. I started on season 4 because I interviewed DC Daryl on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And when he posted the clip, I said, "Oh, I got to go back and watch the entire fourth season." And I watched it from beginning to end, all the way up to the end. The end had a plot twist. I can't give it away. No spoiler alerts here. You guys have to go and subscribe to Pandora's Box to check it out. If you know, you know. But what I love is that she included some of the flashbacks from the previous
Oh yeah,
seasons in the show as well too, to give people just an insight of, okay, why is this character like this?
yes, yes. She does a great job of doing it. It was amazing. No, it was fun. Oh my God! So Nelly is in the house. She just came into the live. Nelly plays my sister on the show, Pandora's Box. Say something.
Welcome. Welcome to the dollhouse, Nelly. We are talking all things Pandora's Box here with Brenda. We had a great discussion in the beginning of the show. We were talking about her character, Ryan, on the show, and how her character went through an abusive relationship. And she was giving me insight on what her character has been through so far on each season, all the way from season 2. So I had to go back and watch it, and I fell in love with it. So I was like, after I seen the final episode of season 4, I'm like, where? I want more. I want more. So give us more hints. She was dropping teasers and then the reality show. So make sure you guys go and subscribe to Pandora's Box TV on YouTube. It is amazing. You guys will not be disappointed.
Because that's where you're gonna get all the updates for the show. That's where you're gonna get all the updates about the release of the new season, things like that. So yes, like I said, it's been amazing being on the show. um okay, Janetta, thank you, girl. So yeah, it's been amazing.
All right, fashion dolls. We are now almost at the end of our girl talk. I know we did an hour, but this was needing. This was therapeutic.
It
I
was.
needed
It
this.
was.
So we're going to have some fun with Brenda, all right? So, we are both, you guys can see both of our faces are beat, obviously. Special thanks to my makeup artist here at Style by Stevie, Melanie and Allen, my bridges, for making sure that I returned right, all right, with the pink and everything. So, we're going to find out what is in Brenda's beauty bag. Brenda has to tell us 5 things that she can't live without in her beauty bag, all right? So we're going to start off with that, and then we're going to do something called Turn the Tables, where Brenda gets to ask me some questions, anything fashion, beauty related, anything she wants to know. I did this with Daryl, her co-star from Pandora's Box. So we're going to do it here with Brenda today, all right? And you guys will get to know a little bit about me through her questioning. All right, so we're going to start off with the 5 beauty must-have. What are 5 things that Brenda can't live without in her beauty bag?
Well, I have to have a good moisturizer for sure. I have to have some makeup remover wipes because that's going to fix anything that I have, or if I need to take makeup off, start over, whatever it is. I have to have a primer. I have to have I have to have my MAC concealer. Um and I have to have my Juvia's Place highlighter. And something for my lips. This is just a lip treatment. Just like a regular moisture. My lips are very big, so I have to have something.
I've got big, we both got pouty lips, girl.
Yeah.
So
All, all I have on my lips right now is this.
I thought
That's
it
it.
was like a tint.
No, it's not a tint. It's not a tint. It's just this lip gloss. Now, there may have been a little bit of, foundation still around that kind of helped to make a little tint, but that's it. My lips are just huge.
We
And my dad,
both have them, girl. So we don't necessarily need the line, but I love to overline. That you guys know me, you guys know that I love an overlined lip and a gloss as well too. That is 2 things that I love. So that is 2 things. All right, fashion dolls, that is what's in Brenda's beauty bag. Now it is time to turn those tables. All right. So you guys will get to know a little bit about me through her question. And it can be anything beauty, fashion related, life, goal, whatever she wants to know, you guys will find out about me through that question. All right. So take it away.
what's your favorite brand shoe?
My favorite brand of shoe. I am a Jimmy Choo girl. I love Jimmy Choo. It is one pair in particular that I've seen. And I love Sarah Jessica Parker too. I don't know if you guys know, I love Sarah Jessica Parker, Sex and the City. She has a shoe brand as well too that is out. And the store is gorgeous. The whole display is gorgeous. So if you know what I'm talking about, it's SJPNYC. And if you're in the New York area. So y'all go and check that out.
Okay, now is that for fashion or for comfort? Because we have to have a comfortable one now.
I love Puma slides. I love Puma slides. And I also love my clogs as well too. I'm not afraid to say I like my clogs because when I'm working out in the garden or doing something or running errands, I will throw on those clogs in a heartbeat. But a fashion shoe, I would definitely say Jimmy Choo or Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay. Um, would you do you prefer um jeans or leggings?
I love denim.
You love
Believe it or not, because I always do leggings for like comfort, but I like denim for style. Because my mom, she said, you always wear sundresses. Why don't you put on some denim?
I love something comfy too, but I do denim sometimes.
I
Okay,
love
name your top three in your fashion or your beauty bag.
it. Oh, my top 3. I would have to say Charlotte Tilbury. I love Charlotte Tilbury. The cream is everything, the magic cream. Because you said moisturizer. I love moisturizer.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid to say I like Dior and Chanel and all of these brands because I do use these makeup brands as well too. But I also use my Olay and my Noxzema.
Hmm.
And my cousin Yvonne, she put me on to Noxzema. That is something that has been around for years. I use it to take my makeup off. And when I tell you, I can just literally leave it on like a mask and it will take all of my makeup off. And of course, I use my wipes as well too. So I have to make sure that I am hydrated. I use my mist to set my makeup as well too. So those are a couple of things that are in my beauty bag. And for us people of color, we got to make sure that we are protecting the melanin. So sunscreen is a must. That is definitely something that I keep in my beauty
Okay, I have two more questions. The next question is, do you prefer stiletto, square, coffin, or almond?
bag. Oh, nails! As
Yes.
y'all can see, I am wearing the coffin shape. I'm pretty sure you guys see the emerald green on there. Yes. And the previous shows this week, I did stiletto actually. And I love them, but the sad part about it is I was getting so many compliments. People, they're just like, how do you do anything with them? How do you type with your nails so long?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And putting
And then
on eyelashes. So,
yeah, because I have to. Oh, I should have said that in my beauty bag. I can't go anywhere without lashes. Okay. So, the last question is, what are your goals for your show, and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
where do I see myself in 5 years, and what are some of my goals with Style by Stevie? I want to empower Black women. That's my goal because if you guys look at my feed, just my feed in general, it's nothing but women. You see the pretty fashions, you see the pretty women, you see everything there. I set this platform because I wanted it to be unapologetically for Black women. But I said you can't forget about the brothers too, because men watch the platform.
Yeah.
And what's shocking is that they know more about us than we know about ourselves. So one of my goals is to just continue to empower people. We've been through such heavy times with the election and everything, and I created this outlet as a getaway so that people could just escape from the real world. Take a minute, just breathe, listen to the positive conversation and exchange that I have with my guests and learn something. So I would love to have my own network. I couldn't do Viacom or any of these other networks. I said, no, I want to build my own. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be a Black woman who has her own network. If Oprah can do it, I can do it.
You can.
But I want to give other Black filmmakers and writers the opportunity on my network as well, too, not just Style by Stevie, but they would have their projects there too.
Absolutely. That's great. I'm actually going back to school to get my bachelor's in English. So when I write my next project, I'm gonna need you to have your platform up and running so I could put a couple things.
Yes, for sure. For sure, girl. And we need more women writers. We definitely do.
Yeah.
Um, the writer's strike that is going on, I'm gonna give my thoughts on that. Okay. It needed to happen. It needed to happen. And I think it was Cheryl Lee Ralph and a few other people that were out there. Some of the actresses from P Valley were out there at the strike as well, too. It needed to happen because actors deserve equal pay. They are literally on set long hours.
Hmm.
Even us as the talk show host, the journalist, the whoever hosting the platforms, we're sitting here long hours, day in and day out, breaking our backs, giving you this content so that you at home can enjoy for your leisure. So actors deserve equal pay. I think it was Billy Porter. Billy Porter literally had to sell his home. That's how bad it is. So
Hmm.
this strike could go on all the way till 2024, but it
Yeah, but
needed to happen.
they said something that was so trash. I don't want to go back into the conversation, but I thought about this before the show started, but I forgot
Mm.
to even touch on the strike, because I'm used to getting so many auditions. The auditions have been so dry. But I don't mind because, it gives me the opportunity to focus on some other things. But you know, you have to stand for what you believe in. And they were saying that they're trying to bleed the writers dry so that they would have to sell their homes and come crawling back, and all it was just very trash. And Billy Porter said, okay, you wanted to break us, well, you already broke me because I had to sell my home, and that is awful. That is so disgusting. I was disgusted by the fact that that it came out that they said that. Oh, we're going to just keep the strike going. We're not going to come to an agreement. We're going to make them spend every penny they've ever earned. That is the saddest, sickest, most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Now, how are these actors and directors supposed to fend for their families, because they do have families out here? And it's sad.
And
Who was it? It was Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv. She went live
yeah,
not too long ago, and she was talking about it as well too.
yeah, it's awful. A lot of people have been very vocal about the strike and about the issues and about fair pay, fair wages, because these writers are writing all of this content. If you didn't have
Yeah.
writers, you wouldn't have the content. If you didn't have these actors, you wouldn't have anyone to portray what the writers are writing. So you're making millions and billions of dollars from this entertainment, but you're not fairly compensating the people who put in the work to make this, and that's not right.
And they deserve the equal pay as well too. Everybody's putting in long hours of work, all of their
Yes.
everything into these projects to give people masterpieces out. And it's not as easy as people think it is to the viewers at home that are watching. We're literally sitting there and creating this content, making sure that everything is right. And it was one of the actresses from P Valley, I think it was Brandy, she said you'll be watching reruns forever. So why do you guys think that there are all these talk shows like Jennifer Hudson, Sherry Shepherd? They're all doing reruns. I think Tamron Hall returns next month on the 5th. So
Mhm.
I don't know how she's gonna do it with the writer's strike going on, but a lot of these platforms are airing reruns. So pay attention to that. Something
Yeah,
is gotta come about.
yeah. Because people want what they want, and when it's just that they haven't been able to see the effects of the strike yet. Because when these seasons are coming up and you're expecting your favorite show to return and it doesn't, you get upset, and so you lose the momentum with the show. Because people don't want to wait 2 or 3 years for a show to come back. We've forgotten what was on it. Now the strike in 2008 was the end of, I mentioned earlier that Girlfriends is my comfort show, but that show got canceled in the middle of the 8th season because of the writer strike of and we don't want that to happen, because these people are putting their hearts and souls into entertaining the public, and so we just want them to offer fair compensation and fair terms across the board. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And that's to anybody out here as well too. Shout outs to all the independent filmmakers and directors and writers that are still going, regardless through all of this, the writer strike and the actor strike that is going on. You guys are still thriving and creating your projects. Doing it independently is not easy, but you have to do what you have to do to get your projects out there. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So we covered a number of heavy things in today's Girl Talk today, Fashion Dolls. Brenda, any final thoughts? And where do you see yourself next in the future? Because the year is halfway out. 2023 has been a wild ride. We've had some ups and downs. Where do you see yourself next in the future for 2020?
Um, so I would definitely I definitely will start filming Pandora's Box. I see myself, well, I am starting school too. I just see myself continuing to be a light, um, and motivation for other people. it really makes me feel good when people DM me and ask me questions or come to me and confide in me. So I just want to continue to be a light. I want to be a positive influence for everybody that I cross paths with. And that's really all that's been the most important thing to me, because I've accomplished so many things in my life and I plan to accomplish way more than I've already accomplished in the past. But the thing is that none of that means anything if nobody sees you as a good person. So I just want to continue to be a light, motivation, and positive influence on everybody who cross paths with me.
All right. There you have it, fashion dolls. And to add on to what Brenda just said, I'm going to leave you guys with today's final thought, closing out our girl talk. This was such an amazing convo, Brenda. I had such a great time. We did an hour-long girl talk, and it was so therapeutic. It was refreshing because it needed to happen. With the division that is going on amongst us as Black women, we needed to show that we can get together and we can have these conversations, and we're both on the same page on equality. We talked about domestic violence in today's show, which is something that I never really talked about. We talked about racism last week on my other platform, tete a tete with my co host Manny. But to be this transparent with you about domestic violence, to talk about stats and other women who've experienced it, it's a lot. So you guys have to watch it from beginning to end. But today's final thought comes from Zora Neale Hurston. She
I,
says
I
this:
love.
sometimes I feel discriminated against, but it does not make me angry. It merely astonishes me. How can any deny themselves the pleasure of my company? It's beyond me. Go where you are celebrated and not tolerated. Don't put up and endure with mistreatment, manipulation, or being abused. Go where someone loves you and accepts you for being you genuinely and authentically you. And I make it my business here because growing up, for us, Brenda, you're pretty sure your mom and your grandmother's Essence magazine was everything, and Essence has a documentary that is coming out. Every Black woman or Black girl growing up should know everything about Essence magazine because our grandmothers would get it. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to see growing up. So I'm going to make it my business to encourage more and more Black women here on my platform because we get so broken down by the things we see in the media where it's just like, if something bad happens to us, they tear us down automatically. They sometimes do not believe us, even when we're telling the truth. It's like we have to prove ourselves. So the reason why I built this platform is to empower the African American woman and LGBT people. So that's what I'm going to continue to do here. But again, the key thought of this quote that Zora said is to celebrate. Go where you are celebrated and loved and not tolerated. Go where people appreciate. And that is the final
Absolutely.
thought of the day. I love me some Zora Neale Hurston. If not her, then Maya Angelou.
Me, me
So we
too.
have that in common.
Absolutely.
All right, fashion dolls. So Brenda, let everyone know where they can follow you, girl, because you know I will be supporting. I am waiting for the next season of Pandora's Box. And I hope it's not the
Absolutely.
last. I hope Slim keeps giving us more and more and more because she threw me off when she was putting out little clips here and there. I'm like, are you going to give it to us? Because I'm pretty sure all the viewers that are diehard fans of Pandora's Box are waiting for the next season and to see what happens with your character as well as Pandora herself and the other
Yeah.
characters on the show.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can follow me on Instagram, obviously, at Brenda Shanell. You can see my name there. Same thing everywhere. I think maybe B.Chanel on TikTok. Um, I have a link in my bio to my IMDb page if you want to see some of the things that I've done. It's the same thing on Facebook, Brenda Chanel. It might be the same thing on Twitter and what's the new thing? Threads.
X, they call Twitter X.
X. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you can find me. And be sure to go and subscribe to Pandora's Box TV on YouTube. Subscribe or follow Pandora's Box TV on Instagram so that you can get all of the new updates about the upcoming season of Pandora's Box.
All right. And make sure you guys hit on over and subscribe right now. Hey, Deja. Hey, Shame. I see you guys are coming in. Y'all missed an incredible conversation. And I must say, damn, it feels good to be back because I know you guys missed me throughout this week. I took a break after I did my last show the following week, but the writer's strike is happening, so we had to rearrange and get things set back up. But we are back. And joining me tomorrow, we have mixed martial artist and stuntman Kyle Austin will be joining me tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Style by Stevie is back. It feels great to be back. I feel rejuvenated. And this was such a refreshing girl talk with the beautiful Brenda Shanell. You guys know her as Ryan on Pandora's Box. And make sure you guys go and subscribe. Head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie. This entire conversation, it was heavy, but it needed to be had. Make sure you guys watch it from beginning to end. The replay will be up, and you guys can head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube to check it out as well, too. I love you, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 4. And Brenda, I had a great time, girl. We got to do this again in the future.
So we definitely have to do it again. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 4 in the Dollhouse with Kyle Austin. Take care, everyone.
All right.